it's Allie and welcome back to my channel. It's October, so that means for my Tag Tuesdays I'm gonna be dressing up as something new every Tuesday. Jordan Laree sent me the funniest snap the other day of her dressed up as a mouse, and she was like, "I'm a mouse," and I was just like, my mean girl's heart was so happy. However, this is going to be challenging because, as you can tell, I don't know what books are on the shelf behind me. And normally, whenever I am looking for answers for a tag, I scan my shelf. So, basing things off memory isn't really good for me, but that's what we're gonna do for the tags in October. For today's tag, I'm going to be doing the spooky, scary book tag, which I'm not even close to looking like, but you know, cats can be terrifying sometimes. They're gonna dominate the world one day. This tag was created by Clever Fox, and I will leave a link to her video down below. Let's get into the tag. What goes bump in the night? Name a book that has legitimately scared you while reading it. Honestly, I feel like I've used this for a lot of answers that are similar to this question before, but it has seriously been like the most terrifying story that I've read ever. And that was the March Harris story in the Slasher Girls and Monster Boys anthology. That shit was so creepy. It's kind of has this Alice in Wonderland theme going on, but it does take place in like a modern world. And this girl she's like kind of like an outcast, like no one wants to be her friend kind of deal, but she goes out into the woods and finds this little like table, and she wants to have a tea party, and there's this creepy ass man-sized bunny staring at her, and he like becomes her friend, but also not. It was really good. First of all, it was really good, but also I had nightmares for like close to 3 months, and I'll probably have them again tonight because I'm thinking about it. So if you can get your hands on even just reading that story from it, like go to your library, and it doesn't really take that long to read the story. You could probably read it while you're at the library. You can read that story if you want to be creeped out, because that shit was terrifying. Jack-o'-lanterns and classic costumes. Name a book you always reach for during the Halloween time. I mean, I don't reach for the same book every Halloween. One that I think about every year that I really want to get back to is the Cirque du Freak series, because it does deal with vampires and stuff, and the Vampanese, which are like vampires on roids, and I always think about that series during this time because it's just so creepy and bloodthirsty and just all the gore and weird stuff. So I think about that a lot, but I tend to look for witchy type books during this time, so I've had my eye on the Truth Witch lately to maybe read. So, and I definitely look for more paranormal books. Oh yeah. Black Cats and Magic Mirrors. A book you love that is laced with superstition and or magic. For this, I am going with the Raven Cycle series. The first thing that I think of when I think black magic and mirrors is the Raven Cycle series. I feel like this just played such a big part in this. You have fortune tellers. Blue's whole family, they're all fortune tellers except for Blue. There are these weird ass mirrors involved, and there are ghosts involved, and there's a dead king involved, and a curse, and all kinds of weird stuff, and this weird like landline magic kind of stuff going on. So if anything is really just laced with all kinds of magic and superstition, it would have to be the Raven Cycle series. Plus, I love that series so much. I made a playlist for it, and it is like the only playlist I ever listen to anymore. I still love it. It still puts me back in that mood. Like, the book just has such a like magical feel and air to it as well, and I don't think I will ever read anything like it again. Witches Brew. Favorite witch in any book or series? Do y'all even gotta ask? Like, of course it's Manon. Manon is my queen. She is like number 2 favorite character of like all time. So I love Manon. If you don't know, Manon is from the Throne of Glass series, and I actually, whenever she was first introduced, I skipped her point of view because I didn't like her. And then now she's the only character I care about. So, which is kind of how like the Throne of Glass series works. It's like you don't really care and then you care, and then you don't care, and then you care again, and it's up and down, okay? It's a roller coaster of emotions. Manon is definitely my favorite. She's so bloodthirsty. She's got the long nails, and I'm all about the long nails. I don't have any right now, but still. I'm still holding out for Manon to be bisexual. Please. Please. Ghouls and Ghosts. A book that still haunts you to this day. Good or bad? I'm gonna go with a bad one, and actually this is called The Bad Room. I know the only person I've ever heard talk about this was Sue over at the restricted section. She also talked about how effed up that book is, and that's literally all I can remember. There is one scene in that book. I read it as a kid. My parents had picked it up at like a yard sale thinking it was a kid's book. Look at the title. Look at the cover. Is that a kid's book? I just loved reading so much, so they were buying me books, and this was definitely not suitable for kids, and it was creepy as shit. And there is one scene that still plays in my mind from time to time. It was so messed up. I honestly don't really remember what the rest of this book is about, but I remember there was some weird shit going on. That's what that book haunts me. Like, I look at it and I'm just like, haunted graveyard. You're all alone in a haunted graveyard. You get to one book to give you comfort. What book is it? To give me comfort? I don't read like comfort books. Okay, this is gonna sound weird, but I was thinking I would take City of Bones because there is like, I think there's a graveyard scene in that one. If it's not in that one, it's in the second one. Some badass vampire is gonna walk in here and make me his vampire queen, and me and Camilla, we're gonna hang out forever and ever, and it's gonna be amazing. So that's what I'm thinking. But if we're going for like something that like makes me happy, Can You Not Up There? I mean, the first thing that comes to mind is the To All the Boys I Loved Before series, so. The Undead. Favorite supernatural creature to read about? This could be like vampires, zombies, ghosts, you know, whatever. Mine would have to be vampires. I've always been a vampire girl. I mean, Twilight was a thing. They brought me back to reading. I love the Cirque du Freak series because it's got vampires. Raphael was my favorite character in the Mortal Instruments series. Like, I got a thing for vampires, and I'm not gonna deny it. I don't like reading about werewolves. Werewolves are like my least favorite in the whole group. So if I had to read about any supernatural creatures, it would definitely be vampires, and I feel like that's probably a pretty popular answer. So if you know of any really good vampire books or vampire series, leave them in the comments section. I would love to hear your suggestions. In the dead of night, pick a book with a black cover. I'm gonna go with If We Were Villains. This was one of my favorite books of this year, and probably like forever. If you don't know already, because I've been raving about it for the past month, but this is about a group of actors at this like private acting school. They only do Shakespeare plays. You don't really have to know Shakespeare to read it though, but I love those parts. The plays that they do are described so vividly and so bloody, and it's just, oh, it's amazing. And everything is fine and dandy. Just a bunch of people that kind of like argue with each other, but they still love each other, and there's all kinds of complicated connections up until one of them is found dead in the lake outside the school. The main character who we are following has been put in jail for the murder, and the detective comes back. It's 15 years later. He's gotten out of jail and the detective has retired, but he's like, I want to know what really happened that night. You can tell me now. Really exciting. I love this. It was amazing. It was written beautifully. It was so vivid, and you have to read it, I swear. Trick or Treat, and this is all you have to do is pick Trick or Treat. I would definitely pick Treat. I love candy. I love candy a lot. My mom says I should have stock in Little Debbie, and they sent me a Valentine's Day card one year because I love Little Debbie so much. Basically, I have like chocolate withdrawal if I don't have it like 3 times a day. And I feel like I'm not done eating until I've had something sweet. Like, I have a problem. Feel free to do all these Halloween tags. I'm so excited for all the Halloween tags. I love the Halloween tags. Please do all the Halloween tags. Hope you guys have liked this video. Don't forget to subscribe to see future Tag Tuesday videos from me. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.